What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ, and once again, it's story time. Okay, so hopefully this isn't going to run too long. In my head, it's a short little story, but I've said that in the past, and then I end up rambling forever, so if I do that again, I apologize. But I thought this was kind of a neat story, given what I just found while I was kind of cleaning around my apartment and stuff. I got some new shelving. Those of you that might follow me on Instagram and Twitter may have seen my recent post about the shelving I put together that now houses a bunch of my Nintendo stuff. But I found something that I thought was kind of neat, and so I was like, I'm gonna make a video about it because it's a good memory for me. I think I've mentioned before, either on here or on my old podcast, that my dad was never huge into video games at all. There's a couple of games that he like he knew Mario and Tetris and like the real basic Nintendo stuff. From back in the day, especially since his sister, my aunt, who I've mentioned before, because we always used to go over to my cousin, she was amazing at like Dr. Mario and Tetris and those kind of games. He knows just kind of like references, things that he hears and stuff. So one time we were living in Kansas because I had the Super Nintendo at the time, and my cousin and I were at the house. He was going to Blockbuster to rent some movies. So you remember renting, kids? Yeah. I'm old. But he was like, you guys want me to pick you up anything? We couldn't think of any movies. We were like, yeah, if you want to just get us a game, that'd be great. And I don't know why we didn't just go with him. I honestly don't remember that part. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he just, I don't know, needed some alone time or whatever. But he was like, anything particular? I was like, how about just anything, because I knew that he knew some names. I was like, you see something with the word Mario in it, grab it, go for it. So he was like, so like Mario Brothers or something? I was like, yeah, totally. Just make sure it's a Super Nintendo game, whatever. So he goes and comes home, and he brings this game called Super Buster Brothers. And he was like, they didn't have any Mario stuff, but I brought you this because it sounded similar, Super Mario Brothers, Super Buster Brothers. And we were like, oh, cool, because it was nothing we had ever heard of and stuff. So we're like, all right, man, we told you to get whatever, you did. That's fine. Ended up spending like the entire night playing this game. Super, super basic, pretty abstract. If I remember correctly, don't get me wrong, it's been years since I've played it. I remember correctly, you're like shooting like chains or like grappling hooks or something straight up as your character moves back and forth across the screen, and you're like popping bubbles and stuff, and like every time you pop a big bubble, it bursts into smaller ones, and then you pop those and they burst into smaller ones all the way down until they get to the smallest size, and you pop those and they're done. And you just try to clear levels by that while these bubbles are bouncing around the stage. And it was so neat. Just like unfortunately, what's weird is I don't think it had multiplayer. Like, you would think a game like Super Buster Brothers would have two players, but from what I remember, it didn't. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think it did. And so we switched back and forth and stuff, and it was just a ball. Like it was just super fun to just play this game where you're just popping these bubbles and trying to see how far we could get. You just move on from stage to stage. There's no story, it's just mindless fun. And we had a good time with it. And I always thought that was kind of neat that I had such a good time with this game that I had never heard anything about. And my dad was just like, I'll get something for him, here it is. And I thought that was really cool. And what made me think of it was, apparently, we obviously returned the game. However, apparently we did not return the instruction manual that was contained within it, so you still got the Blockbuster sticker on it. So I still have this thing and I was kind of looking through it, and there's not much in there, kind of just controls, and then old manuals have like sections for notes and stuff, which is always interesting to me. But it's like, I don't know, it just made me like feel super nostalgic about this game that I played once, just that day, and I'm sure we had it for a couple of days or whatever. But I remember that night specifically, that me and my cousin just going to town on this game, and it was great. Unfortunately, I have not seen it out in the wild, and granted, I don't think I really thought to look for it as well. Now that I found this, I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open when I'm out hunting and stuff, because it'd be cool to get my hands on this and try it again. Still kind of weird that again, from what I remember, there was no two-player, but it was a really fun game, and I just thought that was a cool little story, because we ended up having just such a fun time with this game that we knew nothing about. So yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. Guys, what are your pleasant surprise games that you knew nothing about, but somehow kind of just dropped into your lap, that you got a chance to play with, and you think about, and you're like, oh, I forgot about that game. Those are always fun to me, and bring up some cool memories and everything. So as always, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. You've been on YouTube. I say the same thing every video. But as always, keep on gaming.